Day. First, I'm going to do a bit of an update on my upload schedule. I'm going to try to make a new video every I'm going to try to make a new video around the weekends. Now then, whether that'll be Saturday or Sunday, I don't know yet. I'm gonna figure that out. Now, whether that'll be Saturday or Sunday, it'll probably be intertwined along the way. But that's not why you are here, probably. You are here. Well, actually, you probably don't know why you're here, because this is new. This is a new thing. I'm a new person. I'm a new person that you don't know, probably. This is NRG Deku. This is I'm doing a what if. Yeah. Mainly my inspirations came from people like Leon Mookie, Prince of One Ifs, Insane Monster, 199, and a couple more examples like that, plus We the Celestials and others. But the reason I wanted to do this was because with the whole end of My Hero Academia, at least the anime, because it is ending soon. I'm sorry to say this, guys, but at some point, we just gotta look at the fact that it is gonna end soon. So yeah. Anyways, also, as for the ship, I'm going to just stick with one for my very first what if. Now then, if I ever do more MHA what ifs, will I do harems? Yeah, probably. And you might see that a lot if I ever do what ifs like this. If you're not a fan of harems, or more specifically, if you aren't a fan of like what ifs that like give Izuku a harem, then I'm sorry, but I may do that a lot. Heck, I might even change my mind and do one for this what if, but I only thought of one character that I genuinely did want to add. I had like other ideas, but I just decided to stick with one character to not give myself as much of a headache. Because if I had to like think of a way to like add the relationship of like what, four girls with this guy, that sounds like a lot of work. Also, I don't make a script for any of this. I just get a general idea of what I want to try to do, and I just do it. So yeah. Now, if you think that's lazy, I'm not going to sit here and say that it isn't, because honestly, yes, it 100% is. I mean, basically, I'm just improving, but honestly, that's just that's just my style of trying to of figure things out. So I do not know what to tell you. Now then, now you're also probably now then. I feel like I need to explain my thought process when making this what if. Um, so my full reasoning for wanting to do a what if like this. Number one, I feel like I feel like it would be an interesting see. I feel like it'd be interesting, like for me to. I feel like it would have been interesting, cause if any of you know about Ben 10, which I mean, I'm pretty sure at least a good chunk of you know at this point. You know, Ben has like, from what we've seen, like over 100 aliens. I want to say could be less, could be more, but we've seen him transform into a lot of aliens. However, however, a lot of people have already, and I wanted to see what Deku would do with one of these aliens. But there's one problem with that. Ben 10 Deku has been done to goddamn Earth. And, you know, and like all of them, I can, and also, I like all of them. I don't particularly have a problem with like a lot of like fanfics and whatnot. Because honestly, it just depends on how it goes. Because I'm not like one of those people that are gonna be like, ew, cringe when I look at a fanfic, unless there are certain things that don't necessarily feel right. Other than that, I'm completely cool with it. But, anyways, I've talked long enough. Also, and so I decided to go with one of his aliens. Now, why'd I choose NRG? I'm gonna be honest. I just chose the alien that I kind of feel like needed more love? Because, like, we continue hearing people say the good graces of Heat Blast, Forearms, Humongous Sword, XLR8, etc., etc. But we don't hear anybody give love to NRG when this man is a literal walking nuclear reactor. I feel like that deserves way more attention. So, that's why I'm doing this. Now, again, we already know what NRG is: a humanoid alien, physical, emitting pure red radioactive energy. And obviously, we're gonna give him that same heavy Charleston and oven like containment suit with the 3 slits, but we're gonna make it more slimmed down to like actually match Izuku's body type. So, this is what it looks like. I don't this is just some bit of art that I found on the internet. The original artist is, I think, at the side. I really want to check, but I can't because of the way I'm filming this, and I'm afraid I might accidentally, stop the video if I do. Also, the other image on the side, that's just a AI art that I decided to generate. It's probably not as good, but I did my best. But anyways, let's do this. We'll start off, at the start of My Hero Academia, episode 1. But we're not going to start off with the childhood segments yet, as we start off in Aldera Junior High School, where we see a bunch of students walking and talking and, doing various student things. Just gossiping, talking about new things, and also the new, the sensation of a lifetime, pro heroes. Yep, in this world, people are born with superhuman abilities known as quirks. What is a quirk, you ask? Basically, it's a genetic mutation that kids get at birth, which gives them various different powers. Some ranging from flight to super strength to even more unorthodox things like pulling balls off your head and whatnot, for example. Now then, let us go to one of these classrooms. Now then, let us go to one of these scenes where we see a villain with a gigantification quirk. Basically, we in a confrontation with pro heroes Kamui Woods, as well as Dead Arms and Backdraft, who is currently, holding the crowd back who are currently watching, and right in the center of the crowd that was watching this was someone wearing some type of Charleston armor with 3 slits in the center of the helmet, as a red aura was coming off of it. Not literally like from the slits, as it was slightly smoky. As a lot of the and I mean, yeah, this obviously got some stares as they were wondering, who the heck is that guy? I think it's a kid. He's wearing a school uniform, but why is he wearing that? I don't know. Probably some kid who just wants to be a pro. What the heck kind of. Why would he wear that kind of armor? Kind of makes him look terrifying. The person they're talking about is our protagonist, Izuku Midoriya. Now then, the reason he's wearing this armor? It's because of his quirk, which the doctor called Warhead, which he didn't like. It made him sound dangerous. His mother hated the name the doctor gave his quirk as well, but the reason for the name isn't without merit. You see, basically, Izuku's entire body is basically a walking nuclear reactor. His entire body is made of red, nuclear radioactive energy that is constantly seeping off of him, which makes him a danger to everyone around him, which deeply saddens the kid. So, his mother, who in this universe is actually a support inventor, actually decided to make him a protective suit, which is why it looks so detailed, by the way. The only reason by the way, that is just a slight change I made to Inko's character, and it doesn't really affect the plot, so sue me. And, however, this didn't stop him from being viewed as dangerous and a villain by most of his classmates, including his quote unquote childhood friend, Katsuki Bakugo. Listen, I know what you guys are probably gonna say. Oh, but Izuku has a quirk now, so wouldn't Katsuki? No, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't really stand on the fact that Bakugo would be nicer to Izuku just because Izuku has a quirk. Let us be honest here. Bakugo has a massive ego, specifically at the start. Listen, I love Bakugo now. At first, during the first bits of the season, during the first bits of season 1, and kind of a little bit in season 2, but he did get better, and now further on, I did not like the guy, you know? And I fully believe that his pride, even if Izuku did get a quirk, he would still hate him. So, yeah. Anyways, back to it. We then cut back to Izuku as he's looking up, as he can't help but say, they're wasting too much time. They're cool, but heroes nowadays are taking too much time looking good for the cameras. I should just go. I'm gonna be late anyway. He begins walking, his footsteps causing everyone to look at him, as, again, he's wearing like, armor, so it's obviously gonna draw attention, as everyone was slightly unnerved by him, wondering who he was. And yeah, he did miss, Mount Lady basically taking Kamui's spotlight, but like at that point, he just didn't care. Don't get me wrong, he is still like a fan of heroes, and All Might is still his inspiration. However, in this AU, he was always vilified as a villain, and he was always told that he's dangerous, which gave him a bit more of a subdued personality. As when he arrived in Aldera, he sat on his desk, which was basically screaming for help because of how much he weighed. He himself does not weigh much, because again, he's basically pure nuclear energy. However, the armor is heavy as hell. Listen. Anyways, the teacher then walks in. Okay, students, so, it looks like we are going to do a career aptitude test to see what you want to do in the future. Considering that you guys are all teenagers, maybe you want to go to the workforce or try to apply for a job or go to college. However, the teacher then throws the papers in the air. But why bother? You guys want to be heroes after all. The class then roar in excitement as they begin using their quirks wildly, except for two people. One of them is obviously Izuku, because A, he, if he did, theoretically, if he did, no one in this room would come out alive, or at least unscathed. But the other one is our favorite, or least favorite, Or, oh my god, I'm so complicated on how I should feel about you, Pomeranian Katsuki Bakugo. As he said, "Don't let me in with these losers, Teach. These guys would be lucky to even be picked by a washed up D-lister." This caused one of all of them to get angry as one of them said, "Oh yeah? You think you're so better than us, Bakugo?" Bakugo then arrogantly grinned as he jumped onto his desk and said, "Of course I do. After all, I'm the only one in this trash heap of a school that's gonna go to UA High School." This got everyone shocked as one of them whispered, "UA? That's the national level school. Doesn't it only have a 5% accept rate?" "That's right. I'll be the richest, most famous, and most powerful hero. More powerful than All Might himself! Ha ha ha!" He begins arrogantly laughing loudly, as the teacher then looks at the papers and sweat drops. Midoriya, you plan on going to UA as well." That caused everyone to quiet down, as they turned to the armored student sitting in the back, as he was looking outside the window, not really paying attention, as he slowly turned his head and said, "Me?" Uh, yeah, you. "So what of it?" He says blankly, and he says in a subdued tone, as the teacher got kind of irritated at that. "At least try to respect me. Only when you respect me." The teacher got kind of mad, as before he could say anything, Bakugo walked up to his desk and blew it up, but Izuku didn't really flinch as he looked up at him. "Tch, what makes you think someone like you can get into UA?" "What makes you think I can't?" "Duh, because you're a freaking villain, that's why!" The class began murmuring and saying, "Yeah, there's no way they would let someone like him in. I mean, he's so freaking terrifying. Not to mention his quirk. I mean, that guy could possibly destroy the entire city, if he wanted to." They began murmuring as Izuku then looked down, completely just used to this treatment. Used to being basically vilified, as he just accepts all of it. However, that's when a female's voice says, "Will you guys just leave him alone already?" That made Izuku look up, as it was his other childhood friend, Mikoto Misaka. Yes, the ship, by the way, if you're wondering, yes, the ship of this will be Mikoto. Now then, I'm gonna say this. This is not gonna be one to one, because I have not watched the anime she's from, so I apologize. Misaka Mikoto was a bit of a tomboyish girl who who had a bit of a short temper, but she was a prodigy. Realistically, she could be at a high school level, but like when she was 12, but she chose not to because she wanted to go to high school with her childhood friend Izuku. However, she also views Izuku as a rival because he's easily able to take her electricity with ease thanks to the armor his mom made him. However, due to her, but just because of her personalities, that doesn't mean she looks down on others or has a cold personality. She is genuinely kind and hasn't left his side at all. Though she does have a tsundere tendencies when it comes to him, getting easily jealous when he's around other girls. But enough about that. The class began murmuring as it says, "It's Mikoto, the tomboy lightning." Ugh, great, her again. She then began walking to Bakugo as she had an angry expression. "Katsuki, why do you have to treat Izuku like freaking trash? He's our friend, you jerk." "I'm not friends with villains, tomboy." This caused a vein to pop in her head as looks like she was about to shock him, but an armored hand gently wrapped around her wrist as she looks at Izuku in shock as he says, it's not worth it. She was about to protest, but she looks down, subdued, as she says, with a pout, fine. Then, the teacher then goes, alright, Bakugo, get back to your seat. Alright, Bakugo, get back to your seat, please. And Misaka, he says with a bit more annoyance, stop getting involved in things that don't matter to you. This caused Misaka to get irritated as she slams the desk. Maybe if you actually did your freaking job and try to stand up for Izuku instead of I don't care, just sit down. She gritted her teeth as she sat down. Izuku looked at her as she could tell that his eyes were soft and gentle. She of all people knew that underneath that scary armor and the sheer terrifyingness of his quirk, he was a genuinely sweet guy. Someone who genuinely had the heart of a hero, wanting to protect others, making sure everyone is safe, with a smile on his face, even if no one can see it. As her pout softens, as she looks down as she says, why does someone like him have to suffer? It's not right. After classes were over, everyone was walking out. As before Makoto could walk up to him, Bakugo got to him first. As Izuku was about to put his notebook away, Bakugo grabbed it. Hey, that's mine. What's this? One of Bakugo's lackeys looked at it as he began laughing. A hero analysis notebook. I see. Already planning your whole strategies against heroes, villain? Mikoto gritted her teeth as she stood by Izuku's side. Listen here, you jerk. He is no villain. In fact, you guys are more villains than he is. At least he isn't harassing people just because. The guy with the long fingers then goes, but out of this, Mikoto. Freaking tomboy bitch. However, that caused Izuku to get a dangerous look despite none of them noticing. As he walks to him, grabs his wrist, as he says, never, and I mean never, call Mikoto that. The finger guy then began freaking out and pulled away. See? He just threatened me! Whatever. Deku. Izuku looked at Bakugo as he tilts his head. I'm just gonna say this once. Don't go to UA. Makoto looked annoyed. And why shouldn't he? It's his decision to whether you like it or not. And why are you just mad at him going to UA? Hell, I'm going to UA and you didn't say a freaking thing. Because this guy's a villain. Why should I care about some nobody who's probably gonna... Why should I care about a nobody? But him, he's gonna ruin my origin. Your freaking origin? What is that supposed to mean? Makoto says as she was getting more and more irritated. Every person knows a hero's origin is the most important thing. If I am the only student who comes from this dead-end school who goes to UA, then that'll make me be known as someone who came from nothing to become something. Izuku looked down as he says, I guess that does make sense, but I don't necessarily care about that. All I care about is helping others and making sure they're safe. That's why I want to be a hero. That's my drive to be a hero. Whatever. Just know you'll be nothing but a villain in your life. Got it? But, especially with that quirk of yours, you could barely control it, and you could honestly kill someone easily. Izuku looks down. He knows he's right. As Mikoto gritted her teeth, stand up for yourself, damn it! Please! But they're right. I can easily kill someone. I know, but that doesn't define you. Izuku looks at his childhood friend as he looks down. Bakugo then leaves, but before saying, "Oh, actually, I actually do know a way you could possibly get a more safe quirk in your next life." Izuku looks up. "What do you mean?" "Take a swan dive off the roof of the building, and pray you'll have a better quirk in your next life." Izuku's eyes under his helmet widened, as Makoto looked furious. "What did you just say? You can't just say that to someone, Katsuki! Hey, get—" However, Bakugo was already gone, as she looked down with gritted teeth as she ran after him. "Get back here, you bastard!" Izuku was then left alone, just thinking about the words he said. Maybe, maybe it would be better if I was dead. After all, I'm dangerous. He looks down at his armored hands as he clenches them. This armor is the only thing containing my power. But what if it breaks? What if, what if, what if it comes off? What if it's disabled? What happens? What happens to me? What happens to anyone near me? What happens? He then thinks of his mom and Makoto, but surprisingly, he also thinks of Katsuki. What happens to the people I care about? He's crying under his helmet as he just walks out, picking up his notebook before he leaves. Right now, and in this AU, he doesn't go under the underpass, and as he goes in the underpass, as a shortcut, his head was down, as he was just contemplating, wondering what to do. However, that's when a manhole cover erupts open, revealing the sludge villain as he turns. A villain? "Hey, you, kid! Give me your body!" What? The sludge villain didn't wait for him to react properly, as he lunged and wrapped around him. "You're my lifesaver." God! What the hell? I didn't even notice the goddamn armor! Hey kid, take this off! Why would I do that? I said take it off! I gotta go before he finds me! Izuku looked at the sludge villain, as he just simply begins heating his body up, which caused the armor to heat up, which burns the villain. Ow! Holy crap! Are you trying to kill me? No, just get you off of me. You little... He lunges toward Izuku, but out of defense, Izuku shoots out a pure radioactive beam at him, which goes straight through him, causing him to splatter about. As Izuku looks down and looks down. Did did I kill him? He says as he backs away. Please tell me I didn't kill him. He then notices the sledge slightly moving. That's good. I guess I just scattered his body around. He was about to walk away, but then a manhole cover opened as he heard the familiar phrase, "Never fear, 'cause I am here!" Izuku stopped immediately, as he turned around in shock. Uh, All Might? Is that really you? He was about to walk toward him, but All Might quickly got the sludge villain and looked in his direction. Seeing the armored teen, his reaction... Well, I mean, what else would you expect when you see someone wearing full armor like this? Halt, villain! Are you affiliated with this sludge? Where are you affiliated with the sludge villain I was looking for? What villain? What are you talking about? I'm not a... All Might then gets into a fighting stance. If you are, I will have to deliver justice! Wait, no, I'm not a villain. He then actually heard his voice. Oh, you're nothing but a kid. Okay then, well, that's good. Anyways, do you know where the sludge villain is? Kind of. Izuku kind of rubs the back of his head. All over the place? Um, elaborate, young man. He then gestures to the sludge chunks all around. Oh, well, it's a good thing he can live because of that, but was that your doing? Izuku says, I just used one of my radioactive blasts. Oh, well, that's. All Might then paused. Did you say radioactive? Izuku then looked down. Yeah, I I'm basically a being of pure radioactive energy. So, is this armor some form of support item for you? Yeah, a lot of people think I'm a villain because of that. Can't blame them. I mean, with a power like mine, I can easily just kill someone. All Might looked at the boy in front of him. He looked subdued, as All Might placed a hand under his chin. While yes, what the boy did say is true, something like that could easily kill someone, but since the sludge villain was very much alive, and he did say he did use one of those blasts on him, maybe, just maybe. Young man, what is your name? Izuku. Izuku Midoriya. Why do you ask, All Might? Nothing. I just wanted to know your name. Anyways, I should probably collect the sludge villain. Thanks for your work. But know that quirk usage is illegal. But since this was self-defense, I will merely just give you a slap on the wrist. I will merely just give you a slap on the wrist, he says as he playfully gives his wrist a little tap. You you do know I'm technically wearing armor. You didn't have to do that. I know. Ha ha! Wait, before you go. Yes, young man? Can someone like me really be a hero? Huh? It's just I'm so dangerous. Without this armor, I'm basically just walking destruction. How can someone like me, someone who's gonna be a danger to everyone, be a hero, but be a hero? Young man, do you want to be a hero? More than anything in my life, I want to protect others, protect everyone with this with this Carlston fist I have, this power. I want to protect everyone with a smile on my face, even if no one can see it to believe it. All Might looked at the boy, looking directly through the three slits of the armor. He can't visibly see it, but he can tell. His eyes have determination, as All Might then simply said, Young man, anybody can be a hero. People may see you as dangerous, but you don't define how your power works. People don't define how your power works. The person who does is you, young man. After saying that, he jumps away, as Izuku was looking up, contemplating his words as he looks down at his hands. I decide how I use my power. He slightly smiles under his helmet as he gets a text from Mikoto. Huh? The text said, Yo, hey, Izuku, can you and I meet at Dagobah Beach? Izuku then texts back, Sure. Why though? Then she texts back with a pouty comment, with a pouty emoji. Just do it. Izuku sweat dropped, but was kinda used to this sort of behavior from his childhood friend, as he walked to, as first he went to his mom's place. Oh, hey Izuku, how are you doing? I'm fine, Mom. He says as he sets his bag down. Hey, son? Yeah, Mom. Are you still being bullied? Izuku then stops as he stops at his room, as he turns back to his mom. No. He then goes into his room and closes the door. as Inko looks down as she says in a sad maternal tone, "Son, you know I know when you're lying. Why won't you tell me?" The next day, Makoto was patiently waiting at Deguba Beach, as she was slightly tapping her foot on the ground, getting a bit impatient. Where is he? That stupid idiot, keeping a girl waiting. I mean, what if we were dating and he stood me up and he made me wait like this? She then blushed to herself immensely. Not that I would want to date him or anything, even though I really do. Stupid, stupid, stupid! Just focus at your main reason for wanting to do this. Makoto? She then jumped at his voice as she turned to him. Oh, Izuku, there you are. Hey. Hey. So, why exactly did you need me here? Well, simple. I wanted to train with you. You wanted to train with me? I would have thought you wanted to train by yourself. She pouted. Oh, come on. You know I would love to train with you. More than anything. I just needed a. I just wanted to pick a best spot. So why Daguba Beach? She playfully smirks as she gestures. Well, buddy, we're gonna train by cleaning up the beach. A silence grew between the two in a moment as he says, Huh? Ah, it's simple. We're going. I'm going. It's simple, Izu. We're going to clean the beach, train our quirks, and our physical strength as well. Izuku looked down for a moment as he thought. It could work. I don't see why not. And also, I know your power basically gives you superhuman strength, but it's nothing wrong with building a few muscle. Does it count as building muscle if I use my armor to do so? You're handling the weight of the armor too, so maybe it'll double it. Who knows? I guess that makes sense. Alright, Makoto, let's do it. Makoto then got a confident, smug grin as she says, I told you I'm smart. He smiles gently as he begins gently petting her. Um, actually, uh, by the way, Izuku is taller in this one. I want to say he's at least 6'8". No, no, that's a little tall. 5'9". He's 5'9" in this. While Makoto is around 5'3", as she blushed immensely and pouted as she began waving her arms around frantically. Hey! Don't just pep me like a little kid, you jerk! Oh, I'm sorry. She then pouted more as she looked down and said, I didn't say stop either, you meanie. This got Izuku confused. So, do you want me to pet you, or let's just train? As in her mind, she was basically berating herself. Stupid, 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 obliviously cute Izuku. Why don't you know what effect you have on me? And so, they began cleaning the beach. It took less time in canon, because again, by the way, uh, in this, she still has her electrokinesis. I didn't give her all of her abilities, obviously, because that would not fit on the Google slide that I made for her. But I digress. She practiced her accuracy with her electrokinesis by using various discarded coins as projectiles, which did devastating damage, while Izuku was mainly testing his physical strength as well as finding out that he actually has the ability to use his heat radiation to melt certain things, as he tested that on a truck, which made it melt. That's useful. And after, let's say 3 months this time, because I feel like with the combined power of the electrokinesis of the freaking the ability to to manipulate electricity, I feel like that would cause it to take less time. So they still had 7 months. So they trained with each other, getting stronger every step of the way. One day during training, though, Izuku's Mikoto was using one of the arcade tokens she picked up to aim at Izuku as he was about to fire a blast, but then the coin was almost about to hit his helmet as she gasped and tried to push him out the way as she got in front of him. No, wait, stop! Don't go toward him! However, Izuku quickly wrapped his arms around her and ducked down as the coin was about to hit him. As the coin was about to hit her, he blocked it with his back. Makoto, are you okay? "Uh, Why did you protect me? I was the one that was supposed to protect you. It was about to hit your helmet and probably knock it clean off. But you would have gotten hurt. I. You care more about my safety than your own? But you know what happens if that helmet falls off. Your safety means more to me than you think. Huh? Makoto, you're the only friend that didn't leave me. You're the only person besides my own mother, and that doesn't see me as a villain. I care about you, Makoto, more than you think. Makoto then blushed immensely as she thought to herself, is this a confession? Is he confessing to me? No, 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 Makoto. You're thinking way too hard into this. Then Izuku left it at that as he walked away. Maybe we should stop training for today. It's getting late. Yeah. They both then walk off as Izuku looked down, as she couldn't tell, but he was slightly blushing under his helmet as he says, why can't I just tell her? Am I just afraid? I probably am. Yeah, I'm doing this alright. They both like each other, but they both don't know how to fully admit it. But let's get to the part where I'm pretty sure you guys are expecting the UA entrance exam. So then, Makoto and Izuku were looking up at the giant school in front of them as they were both just staring up in awe. Wow, this looks amazing. It's a lot more bigger than in the pictures. I'll say, it's practically huge. Huh? Let's go. Yeah. As they were about to walk, they heard, move it, move it, tomboy. And you move it too, Deku. They turned around to see Katsuki as he trudges by them and bumps Izuku's shoulder, which doesn't really affect him much, as again, wearing the armor. Hmm. Mikoto then gritted her teeth. Arrogant jerk. By the way, in this AU, the sludge villain attack did not happen. Number one, Izuku didn't exactly grab onto All Might's leg, and even if he did, that would cause way too much weight for him to safely land. So, yeah. Bakugo still doesn't. So, Bakugo does not get his early sense of clarity that he gets in the original. So, yeah. He's still probably going to be like this for a bit. Izuku then just sighed. You'll. Eh, it's no surprise, but I do believe he can be a good hero. Mikoto looked at Izuku like he was crazy as she says, "We are talking about the same Bakugo, right? Arrogant, self-entitled, a jerk, a complete and utter piece of garbage to you?" Yes. You you need to learn to step up for yourself from him. I know, but I don't think he's a bad person. He's called you a villain more times than I can count. I know you're trying to see the best in him, but at this point he might be a no. He cuts her off gently. I still believe in him. She pauses as she looks down. You're you're too forgiving. A guy like him doesn't deserve you. But I will trust you on your judgment. But if at any point he ever, and I mean ever, tries anything, I will act. Okay? Got it. Okay. I just wanted to make that abundantly clear. I know. They then took deep breaths and began walking in. And Izuku doesn't trip this time, so no early reactions with Ochako. So, yeah. In the auditorium hall, President Mike gives his usual spiel. Izuku was pretty excited to see the voice hero, as he has listened to some of his voice podcasts before, and he was, as, by the way, he doesn't exactly have his, like, whole muttering thing this time, as he does, but he is excited. Because again, he's still a hero fan, but he's not, but due to his more subdued personality, he doesn't show it as much. Now, does this mean that Ida won't point him out? I'm going to show you that right now, actually. As Mikoto was sitting next to him, she slightly smiled as she chuckled. God, you're so excited. I am. I was just, you know, it's just nice seeing a pro. Greetings, UA High! Says President Mike, who's on the podium. Today we will be doing the UA entrance exams. Hold up. I actually got to put up the entrance exams rules because I straight up forgot. Give me a moment. Now then, as you guys know, there's a written test and a practical test, with the latter being the more important of the two. Now then, for the written test, we will be testing you out on how smart you are, because a hero's not just about brains. It's about brawn too. It's not about brawn. It's not just about brawn, but it could be about brains as well. Now, for the red portion of the test, Izuku actually does pretty decently well, considering, again, Mikoto is pretty much a prodigy at not only her usage of her quirk, but also in academics as a whole. So she's taught him a few things. Still, he comes in second of Mikoto. Then we get to the explanation of the practical portion of the exam. Alright, now then, time for the thing you guys are really here for. The practical portion of the exam. Aren't you guys excited? There was a silence. Alright, tough crowd, tough crowd. President Mike then pressed a button and showed the screen, which showed 4 robots. Alright, now then, you guys will be separated into to various different urban areas where you guys will be fighting villains. Yeah, hearing villains immediately caused everyone to get worried, but don't worry, they're just robots, ranging from 1 point, 2 point, and 3 pointer robots. The the students that gain the most points will be embedded into the hero course. So it's basically it's basically a mock battle. He then looks at his card, and we're all separated in different cities. Mm. Looks like I'm in City C. He then looks at Makoto's and then Bakugo's. I guess they're separating people from the same school so they don't end up working together. Bakugo noticed this and glared. Stop looking at my card, you damn nerd. Izuku looked down. Yes. Makoto then pouted, as she nudged him gently and said, Hey, you can look at my card all you want. She says as she glares daggers at Bakugo, who glares back. Then Ida raised his hand. Sir! Color! Hit me! You forgot to mention the fourth robot. And it is not mentioned on the forums either. If this is a typo or an error, this is a greatly disgraceful mistake on UA's part altogether. And you! He says as he points to Izuku, which caused everyone to actually finally notice him as they look at him and get terrified. What are you doing here? What are you wearing? Are you trying to intimidate us? If so, that's not very hero-like of you. Izuku was confused. Are are you talking to me? Exactly. You have been gaining everyone's attention and it is distracting. I suggest you take that armor off. Izuku got panicked. I can't do that. What do you mean? If your game is trying to distract us, Makoto, then and pointed a finger at him and caused some electricity to slightly spark him. Ugh. Hey! What was that for? He can't take it off because of his quirk, you jackass! Such foul language! Alright, calm down, calm down. Let's not make a fight here. Izuku looked down as everyone was then whispering about him. Unlike in canon, they don't laugh at him, as they're just whispering. Come to think of it, that guy does look terrifying. Does he really want to be a hero with that kind of look? He's terrifying. He looks down. It's always like this. It'll always be like this. That guy was such a jerk. Pointing out something without knowing the context. You didn't have to shock him, though. He deserved it! I know, but still. You're too nice to people who are being jerks to you. He was just he was just looking out for the other examinees. Well, maybe he should get that stick out of his ass. Makoto, that was a swear. I know, and you told me to cool off on those. I know. They then walked off, separating to their various cities and go on their various buses. On his bus, it was awkward, to say the least. As he was in the area, he looked around, seeing a bunch of people either wearing their school uniforms, mock hero costumes, or just wearing casual clothes. As he simply was in his armor that he's, just always wearing, as he noticed a girl with brunette hair who looked nervous as she was breathing, as he was slightly worried and was about to walk to her. That was until Ida grabbed his shoulder as he turned around. You there! Are you trying to distract her? What? No, I'm not. Listen, if you're trying to distract her, then I can't allow you to do that. As you could see, she's probably trying to focus. I will not allow you to ruin her chances at being a good hero just 'cause you want to distract her. After all, you already caused a scene. I was just. Everyone then started looking at him. A select few were also looking at him as well, that being Shoji, Aoyama, Fumikage Tokoyami, and Eijiro Kirishima, as they all had various thoughts in their heads. Shoji's ma. Oh, Ochako also noticed. Going on through Shoji's head, I remember seeing him in the auditorium. I wonder where he. I wonder why he wears that armor. Is it to suppress something? Going through Aoyama's head, Mon ami, that's quite the flashy outfit. I wonder what it's for. Tokoyami, I sense a great dark sadness going through him. Dark shadow comes out of him and says, think it has something to do with the fact that he's wearing full armor? Probably. And Kirishima, whoa, that dude looks super manly. I wonder what that armor's about though. Oh, who cares? It looks so manly. Ochako then also looked at him. He's kinda scary, but he doesn't seem bad. I I was just checking if she was okay. That's all. Well, you might distract her if you do that. He then looked down. I'm sorry. Then a lot of them began snickering. God, what a pushover. Yeah, kinda looks like a villain if you ask me. Hey guys, maybe we should. Hey guys, it's not right to judge him. Oh, quiet, redhead. Ejiro kinda got irritated at that, but didn't show it. However, Izuku heard all these comments as, without Makoto around to drown them out, they kind of build up as he begins heating up, causing the ground to slightly burn. Ida notices this. What the? He then walks past him and says, I'm gonna check on her. Wait! He then was about to touch him again, but his finger was about started burning as he immediately pulled back as he was shocked. Does he have some sort of heating quirk? No. What is this? He then decided to just leave it be. However, before he could get to her, President Mike goes, what are you guys waiting for? The doors are already open. You gotta go, go, go! As everyone then began running. As Izuku began running as well, a lot of them didn't understand what his quirk could be. As he was quite slow as they began laughing. Seriously? How does that guy expect to gain any points if he's just going to he before they can even finish that sentence? He shoots out one of his radioactive beams at least three pointers that they were about to destroy, as they just melt to molten metal as their jaws were dropped. Did did you see that? I did. What the hell? Izuku began gaining some points as the teachers were currently looking at through the monitors. Ectoplasm couldn't help but say, we have a decent amount of candidates this year. Cementos also says, yes, all of them have good potential. Kind of a shame they have to destroy my robots, though. Paolo says with a hang down head. Midnight gently pats his shoulder. Hey, that just shows how well built you made those things, am I right? I guess that makes sense, I guess. Aizawa was just sitting in the corner, not really paying attention, as his eyes were only on one. The one in the armor, who we all know and love. As All Might also noticed. Wait a minute. That boy. Yes, I recognize him. You know him, All Might? Not personally, no. But he's a boy that asked me a question on if he could be a hero. His quirk is dangerous, he told me, but I told him he could. I'm glad he listened to my words. All Might said with a smile, as Aizawa looked at the screen, his eyes slightly narrowing. Nezu, what's that boy's quirk? Hmm? Hmm? Ah! The Chimera principal says as he looks at the paper. It says here his quirk is called Warhead, but they're going about trying to change it, due to personal discrepancies. Warhead. It's basically makes him a walking nuclear reactor, or a walking nuclear bomb. This caused a lot of intents, as well as the two recommenda- as well, but the two recommendation students that were there were kind of surprised, as well as, and the number two hero was also there. If you don't know, it's Endeavor. As one of them, a boy with two-toned color hair, was looking at the screen specifically at Izuku. As he looked at the uh, radioactive blast and the way he was using his heating abilities, and looked down at his left side, as he was thinking, is it fire? No, it's something different. They said something about nuclear energy. He then looked up. Could I possibly learn from him? It's better than learning from my good for nothing other dad. Momo was also watching. Danger. That sounds dangerous. But he doesn't seem like a bad person. We then cut back to the area, as Izuku then destroyed a two-pointer. That should be about 55, I think? I don't know. He was about to walk off, as he says, I don't need the most points. I just need enough points to get in. That's all that matters. However, as I was to walk away, the ground began shaking. What an earthquake? But why would... Then, he looks up as his eyes widened under the helmet as others were running past him, panicking. Monster! Oh god! As they were panicking profusely, as Izuku looked like he was about to looked terrified. No, that could kill but not for himself, for others. That could easily kill someone. They said as the zero pointer that Mike described appeared. Also, I completely realized I did not give an explanation for I did not have Mike give an explanation for the zero pointer. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to say that was a time skip. So I'm sorry about that. Just as, and the zero pointer was caught on his tail. As he was about to run, he heard a cry, "Help!" He turns around as his eyes widen, seeing the same brunette haired girl as before. He was panicking, as he began running to her direction, but due to the heaviness of his armor, he can't get to her. He knows he can't get to her in time. He then looks by and sees Ida run past him, as he thinks, please, she needs help. She needs. His eyes then widen. I have to. It's the only way! He then. The armor's helmet then flips open as his body comes out. As we finally see Izuku in his full, uncut form. As we see. Sorry if this is taking a bit. This is going. I am sorry if I am wasting your time. I just want to get this done and good. There we go. And I remembered I forgot to freaking add that. With knowing full well, no one would know what the full energy form of NRG looks like. But, that's what Izuku looks like. As he's in his full radioactive form, as everything around him slowly began melting. As he flew as fast as he can past the girl, as she looks up, as she was her eyes wide in shock, as she saw the full energy like being, full radioactive energy like being fly past her, as she felt really hot. As she looked to the armor, as her eyes widened. Wait, that's the armored guy. But is that why he's wearing that armor? To suppress this overwhelming heat? You won't hurt anyone! Izuku yells out as he makes a giant radioactive energy ball and throws it down at the zero pointer as it reduces it to metal slop. And be sure to burn it to ash so it doesn't get on Uraraka. As he flies down and moves the rubble off of her. As he hesitates, as he takes a deep breath and picks her up with closed eyes, and his eyes widen in shock as he's touching her without hurting her. Uh, I'm touching you, and I'm not hurting you. But how? I don't know. Thank you. I thank you so much. She then hugs him, which causes him to blush slightly. No problem. Who, um, are you okay? Yeah. Wait. Uh, yeah. He was about to go to his armor, but then she grabs his arm. I, I can't walk. Oh, um, he gently picks her up bridal style, which causes her to blush, and him as well, as he walks toward his armor. Gently, sorry, choked on my own spit there. As he walked to his armor and put it back on, as he picked her up again. That's when Recovery Girl came by, healed her up. You know, young man, that was quite brave of you. Thank you. Recovery Girl then walks off as he looks down at his hands as he says to himself, how did I not hurt her? He says, as he's confused, as he remembers in the past, the doctor telling him that if he ever made contact with somebody, he would hurt them, as he decides to save this for when he gets home. That's when the exam ended, as he walks past everyone as they say, "You kidding me? That's what that guy could do under his armor? He could easily kill somebody with that! Why the hell does a guy like him want to be a hero?" He heard all of this and just looks down. However, there were a select few people who weren't terrified of him. And of course, that's the people who at some point will become his future classmates: Kirishima, Shoji, Aoyama, Tokoyami, Tenya Ida, and Ochako Uraraka, as they all could see past the terrifying armor and that terrifying power. What they saw was someone who desperately did want to protect others. After a bit, Izuku meets up with Mikoto back at the entrance. As she looks up, as she had a worried expression. "Izuku, Mikoto, how did you do?" "I did fine," she says as she was looking down, and walked up to him. As she looks up at him, "Mikoto, did your did you take off your armor?" His eyes widened. "How did you—" "I saw the red flash, Izuku." He looks down as he looks down and does a guilty nod. She then tears up as she has a smile on her face and hugs him tightly, as his eyes widen. "Huh? That means you can't hurt anyone. That means your form doesn't hurt anyone. What? Think about it. Don't you think you would have done more damage if your armor was off, like the doctor said you would?" Izuku looked down, thinking about it. It it would have. But why'd you take it off, by the way? He looks down. A girl was stuck under rubble. Yeah, the term of girl, Mikoto had immediately had her sensors go off as she got a dangerous smile as a visible vein popped in her head. "A girl, you say? Alright, I'll let you elaborate further before I get unreasonably mad." Izuku sweat drops, as he's known for a while now that Mikoto gets, for some reason, really jealous when he's around girls. Um, she was stuck under some rubble, and she was about to get crushed by the zero pointer. And I had to save her. But I was too slow in my armor. I I needed to get out of it. I wasn't thinking, I was. You were just doing what you thought was right. Izuku then was shocked when she finished his sentence, as she had a playful smile, but it was gentle and loving. "Izuku, I've known you since we were 4. I know how you think." "You do, don't you?" he says as they both begin walking home. A couple months later, they each were waiting for their various results for the entrance exam, as Izuku was nervous, even though realistically he shouldn't be, as he did pretty good, both on the written and practical portions. But as the letter arrived, Izuku took a breath as he opened it, as All Might was on the projector, and he was accepted. He was completely shocked that he was accepted, as he couldn't help but sob to himself and kneel down and say, "Thank you for giving me the chance to be a hero, for always believing in me." Inka was watching him through his door as she smiled softly. "Oh, Hisashi, if only you could see our boy now. He's so much like you." And that's where we're ending it off. How do you guys feel? How do you feel about the idea of just one of Ben's aliens being the sole quirk of our favorite protagonist? Let me know in the comments below. See ya.